We spend most of our days at work, don't we? We wake up, commute, stare at screens, and finally drag our exhausted bodies back home. It is only natural that the center of gravity in our lives tilts toward work, since we pour all our time and energy into it. But because of that, we start falling into a dangerous illusion. We begin to believe that our performance at work directly represents our value as human beings. On days when things go well, we feel like the main character of the world. But when we make a tiny mistake or hear bitter words from a boss, we plunge into an endless cycle of self-blame, feeling like the most useless person. Your heart completely shatters over a single wrong attachment in an email, a small typo in a document, or a minor slip of the tongue during a meeting. In that exact moment, your heart pounds wildly, and it feels like every coworker is looking at you with pity. That miserable feeling of being unnecessary truly hurts. But please stop tying work and your existence together as one. Making an occasional mistake at work absolutely does not define who you are. Do not see work and yourself as the same thing. Work is just a function and a means you perform to maintain your livelihood, earn money, and gain experience. It can never become your essence or your soul. A company is a place that buys your skills, your time, and your labor. It is not an exam to judge your dignity as a human being. Just because you messed up a document today, or stumbled on your words during a meeting, it never means your entire life is a failure. Yet, we keep taking the wounds from work straight into our deepest souls, hacking away at ourselves. We say, "Why am I like this?" That is a sickness that comes from failing to separate work from yourself. Just because a little mud splashed on your clothes doesn't mean your body itself became dirty. You can just wash your clothes. Work is the same. A mistake made in your duties is just an area of work that needs to be corrected. Do not drag that into the realm of your existence and hurt yourself. When you take on a new task, or do something you are not used to yet, anyone makes mistakes. That is a completely natural law of nature. There is not a single person in this world who does everything perfectly from the very beginning. Those amazing seniors who look flawless definitely had a time when they made mistakes way more ridiculous than yours, and secretly wiped away tears in the restroom. The countless trials, errors, and clumsiness you are experiencing right now are absolutely not proof that you are incompetent. It is just healthy proof that you are accepting something new and are in the middle of learning. If you did a job perfectly without a single mistake, it is highly likely because that job was overly simple and easy. The more difficult and valuable a job is, the more friction will occur and mistakes will come out. So do not jump to conclusions like, "Maybe I am not needed here." When you see a child falling down while learning to ride a bike, no parent says, "You have no right to ride a bicycle." They just say, "It's okay. Everyone falls at first. Just grab the handlebars again." Your work is exactly the same. The mistake is just a part of the process. Even if your knees bleed a little, you are learning how to balance through that pain. You are not falling because you are unnecessary. But living life, things just don't go the way we want. The world is vast, and there are truly countless variables that we cannot control. You might think you stayed up all night, perfectly planning a scenario, but then things go wrong in a completely unexpected place. When the results get twisted like that, we break down so easily and turn the arrow right back at ourselves. We walk into the swamp of self-blame, saying, "It's all my fault." But let's be honest, is that really all your fault? You are not a god, so how could you possibly control every single variable? That kind of self-blame might vent your immediate upset feelings, but it doesn't help solve the situation even by 1%. Instead, it holds your ankles so you can't move forward. When something blows up, what you truly need is not to cut down your character, but to coolly analyze the situation. You need a rational eye that can distinguish what you missed and what external factors were beyond your control. Stop framing yourself as an unnecessary person. You don't blame yourself for the weather suddenly raining. You just use an umbrella. Likewise, why do you have to become a sinner because of external variables that left your hands? Stop lingering on what you cannot control and just focus on the actions you can take right now. And one of the things that makes us suffer the most is comparing ourselves with others. If you look around quietly, there are always people who stand out because they seem incredibly good at their jobs. Even though they learned the same task around the same time, that person seems to be moving ahead exceptionally well. Watching a person like that, your breath gets caught, and a massive sense of relative deprivation comes rushing in. You make yourself endlessly miserable. thinking, why can't I be smart like that person? But just because that person looks perfect doesn't mean they are always doing well and are happy. Even if they look relaxed on the outside, there absolutely exists their own slump, pressure, and painful failures that they cannot tell others about. There is no one in this world who doesn't live carrying their own hell. It's just that the person doesn't show it. Therefore, there is absolutely no reason to suffer by comparing someone else's polished exterior with your own messy interior. What we need to do is very simple. If there is a part that the person is good at, don't be jealous. Just accept it cleanly and learn their know-how. Use that as a stepping stone to fill in your own shortcomings. Your life's clock and that person's clock tick at different speeds. The object of comparison should only ever be the yesterday's me, never someone else. If you reduced one more mistake today, you are growing very well through that. Stop trying to match your footsteps to other people's speed. In the end, the only way to break this painful cycle is surprisingly simple. You just have to learn clearly from the mistake and make sure you do not repeat the exact same thing next time. This is the only value that a mistake can give us. The most healthy attitude we can take is to practice, completely separating our emotions from our work. Many people make a mistake and say, "Why am I so stupid?" focusing the subject on me. If you do this, your feelings get hurt, and you become unable to see the essence of the problem. Try completely shifting the subject from you to the system or the situation. Try changing the sentence to, "There was this error in the work process this time," or "There was a systemic issue where the review was omitted." The moment you change the subject, strangely enough, your fluctuating emotions calm down, and you can finally see clearly why the problem occurred. Once you have identified the cause, then you just need to take action. Whether it's taking thorough notes or sticking a checklist next to your monitor, you create devices around you so that you won't repeat the same mistake. As you fill up those holes one by one before you know it, you will have become a person who is incomparably solid. A mistake is never an enemy. It is just a helpful hint that came to let you know your weak points. So do not let your performance at work determine the value of your precious existence. You are not a robot born to be used like a part. You are a dignified human being who exists to live this short life happily. Just because things didn't go the way you wanted during the day, there is no need for the weather of your entire life to turn gloomy. The cool breeze brushing against your cheek on your way home, the music you love, and the warmth of your home waiting for your exhausted self have nothing to do with the mistake you made. Those things are still beautiful and they exist for you. If you were a bit lacking today, you can just go to work tomorrow and fill it up. So please do not push yourself into a corner by making yourself an unnecessary existence. You are already sufficiently valuable just as you are, and you already possess that solid strength inside you to endure this hard time. If you don't believe in yourself, who will? So just relax your shoulders a little bit, and it's completely okay to be a little more generous to yourself. You are enduring well enough right now, and you will move forward more wonderfully in the future. So trust yourself and walk forward confidently. You are completely enough.